A woman stands at a pharmacy counter in a strip mall outside Columbus. The pharmacist taps a rejection code. The medicine is on the shelf. The plan will not cover this version. It will cover another pill, or a different fill site, or a 30-day delay while someone appeals. She leaves with a substitute or with nothing. This is not a factory shortage. It is a routing decision made weeks earlier in a contract she never signed. In the United States, health plans hire firms that do not invent molecules, do not write prescriptions, and often do not stand behind the counter. Those firms sit in the payment chain between drug makers, insurers, pharmacies, and patients. They are called pharmacy benefit managers. The assignment on paper is cost control. A plan that bargains alone faces list prices set for a global market. A manager that can promise volume can extract concessions. Employers, unions, Medicaid managed care plans, and Medicare drug sponsors keep buying that service because the raw alternative looks worse. Then the same structure opens other ledgers. Manufacturers pay rebates after the sale. A plan can be billed one number while a pharmacy is reimbursed another.
The pharmacy that ultimately dispenses the drug can sit inside the same corporate family as the manager that designed the formulary and the network. In 2024, Federal Trade Commission staff released an interim report on these middlemen. The staff documented that the 6 largest U.S. pharmacy benefit managers handled more than 90% of prescriptions in 2023. That is the contradiction. Intermediaries hired to restrain prescription spending can also earn from opaque rebates, from the gap between what a plan is charged and what a pharmacy is paid, and from pharmacies they own. The mechanism is the subject. One qualification has to travel with every leader seen. Staff analysis and cautious language about incentives and potential effects do not prove that every contract raises every patient's price. The chain can still decide which medicines millions of people receive, which counters fill them, and who absorbs the difference.
Pharmacy benefit management did not begin as a throne. It began as paperwork. In the late 1960s and 1970s, as employer plans added outpatient drugs, someone had to process claims, keep a card file of covered products, and pay pharmacies without drowning a benefits office in envelopes. Early managers were clerks with computers. They sold administration. They did not yet sit at the center of national price formation. The 80s and 90s changed the job. Managed care tried to buy medical services in bulk. Drugs followed. Mail-order pharmacies promised 90-day supplies at a discount if the patient would wait for a box. Formularies, once simple lists, became ranked menus. A preferred brand sat on a lower tier. A non-preferred brand sat higher or off the list. Volume could be steered. Steering could be sold. Manufacturers learned the countermove. If placement on a preferred tier meant millions of fills, a concession after the fact could be rational. The concession took the name rebate. It did not always appear at the cash register. It often arrived later as a payment from the drug maker back to the manager or the plan, calculated on utilization that had already occurred. The list price could rise while the net price after rebate fell, or failed to fall as far as the list had climbed. Patients who paid a percentage of list or a copay keyed to a brand tier did not automatically receive the later transfer. By the 2000s, the manager was no longer only a claims shop. Medicare's outpatient drug benefit, Part D, began in 2006 and ran through private sponsors. Those sponsors needed someone to build networks, adjudicate claims in seconds, and bargain. Commercial employers wanted the same stack. Specialty medicines, infused, injected, genetically targeted, priced in the tens or hundreds of thousands, made the formulary a gate rather than a pamphlet. The Government Accountability Office, studying how selected states regulate these firms, documented the modern job in plain institutional language. Pharmacy benefit managers administer prescription benefits. They negotiate rebates. They influence drug pricing.
They use pharmacy reimbursement arrangements, including a practice states have spent years trying to see clearly: spread pricing. Spread pricing is not a rumor. It is an arithmetic gap. The manager bills the health plan one amount for a claim and reimburses the dispensing pharmacy a smaller amount, retaining the difference. Whether that gap is a fee, a trading profit, or a distortion depends on the contract and on who is asking. GAO's work treats it as a reimbursement arrangement that states have chosen to regulate, disclose, limit, or ban in particular programs, especially Medicaid. The report is not a nationwide verdict on every commercial deal. It is a map of the levers states already touch. For years, the industry priced many claims off published benchmarks with names that sounded official and were not government prices. Average wholesale price, wholesale acquisition cost, and maximum allowable cost lists became the yardsticks. A contract that pays a pharmacy AWP minus a percentage, then bills a plan a different percentage, can manufacture a spread without anyone changing the molecule. The yardstick itself became part of the product.
Those levers multiplied after pharmacists, employers, and legislators started comparing invoices. Some states required licensure, some demanded pass-through pricing, in which the plan is charged what the pharmacy is paid, plus a disclosed fee. Some restricted gag clauses that had once kept pharmacists from telling patients that paying cash could be cheaper than using the benefit. Some targeted clawbacks and retroactive fees that made a filled prescription look profitable on Tuesday and unprofitable after a reconciliation file arrived. The historical blind spot is simple. Most people made a copay and assume that number is the price of the drug. In this chain, there are several prices for the same national drug code on the same day: a list price, an acquisition cost at the pharmacy, a reimbursement to that pharmacy, a charge to the plan, a rebate later, a patient out-of-pocket amount that may be tied to none of the net figures. The manager's original product, cheaper administration, grew into control of the menu, the network, and the spreads between those numbers. Health plans still hire the function because someone has to refuse the first price.
The forgotten fact is that the refuser can be paid from more than one side of the refusal. Follow the money to the people who sign. A benefits director at a factory with 4,000 workers is not hired to become a pharmaceutical economist. She is shopping for a predictable per-member cost, a phone number when a plant supervisor's child cannot fill a seizure drug, and a slide she can defend to a board. She issues a request for proposals. The bids arrive with guaranteed discounts off benchmarks, rebate guarantees, and a promise that utilization management will restrain waste. She is buying relief from complexity. She is also buying someone else's incentives. Across the table, the manufacturer's contracting team treats formulary position as shelf space. A new immunology product launches against two incumbents. The list price is set in a market where net is what matters to the seller, and list still matters to anyone whose cost sharing is not net. The team offers a larger rebate for exclusive preferred status, or a smaller one for parity. Exclusion of a rival is a prize. The prize is paid for with a transfer that the patient may never see. The independent pharmacy owner lives on the other end of the switch.
She buys inventory, often through a wholesaler, sometimes at a cost that moves weekly. She dispenses, counsels, and submits a claim in real time. The response comes back with a reimbursement that may sit below her acquisition cost. She can refuse the claim and lose the customer. She can fill it and lose money. She can steer the patient to a 90-day mail facility she does not own. Her motive is not ideology. It is whether Tuesday's cash drawer covers Wednesday's invoice. Then there are the affiliated pharmacies. The largest managers do not only adjudicate. They sit inside diversified corporations that also sell insurance, operate walk-in clinics, run mail-order plants, and own specialty pharmacies that handle the most expensive therapies. A specialty script for a cancer or an inflammatory disease can be worth more than a month of ordinary fills. If the rules say the drug must go to the family's own specialty pharmacy, the fill is not a coincidence. It is a design. 3 corporate families dominate the familiar landscape. CVS Health houses a massive retail chain and Caremark. Cigna's Evernorth houses Express Scripts. United Health Group houses OptumRx.
Each can be in a single day the insurer, the benefit manager, and the dispenser. Ambition here is not mysterious. A firm that controls the benefit design, the claim switch, and the bottle can capture margin at more than one station. A 4th family of managers, regional cooperatives, health system-owned shops, and the remaining independents, still compete for the leftover book. They live in the shadow of the 3. None of these actors needs a cartoon motive.
The plan is scored on a lower net trend and fewer complaints. The manufacturer is buying access. The independent pharmacy needs a non-negative claim. The integrated firm is built to keep the script inside the walls. The patient needs the molecule the physician named, at a counter she can reach, at an out-of-pocket number that does not force a skipped dose. The motive is structural. When one organization can be paid to lower spending and paid again when spending is routed through its own pharmacy, or when a rebate is larger on a higher list price, the organization will study those ledgers with care. That study is rational. It is also the conflict.
The fight is not a single courtroom scene. It is a calendar. Every year, in windowless contracting seasons, manufacturers submit rebate offers against one another for placement. The prize is not a medal. It is the preferred tier, or exclusivity, or the right not to face a prior authorization that sends the patient back to the physician for a different molecule. The manager's formulary committee publishes the result. Whole product lines vanish from easy coverage overnight. Physicians write the old name from habit. The claim rejects. The screen flashes. The technician calls. The patient is told to try the preferred product first. That is step therapy as industrial policy. Idealism says try the cheaper, clinically reasonable option. Reality says the definition of cheaper is net of a rebate the prescriber cannot see. A lower list generic or biosimilar can lose to a higher list brand if the post-sale transfer is large enough to make the brand cheaper to the plan, or merely more lucrative to the intermediary, depending on how the contract splits the rebate.
Staff at the Federal Trade Commission, in that interim analysis, write about incentives and potential effects with qualified language. They describe formulary influence and pharmacy effects. They do not convert the description into a finding that every deal injures every insured person. The wound is subtler. The menu can tilt for reasons that never appear on the bottle. Watch a specialty claim. An oncologist sends a prescription for an oral cancer therapy to a neighborhood pharmacy that has ordered the stock. The adjudication comes back. Out of network for this category. The patient must use a specialty pharmacy. The specialty pharmacy is affiliated. The drug ships in a cooler 2 states away. Days move. A dose is missed. The independent shop is left with inventory it cannot return at full value. The staff report dwells on this family of outcomes: steering, self-preferencing, the squeeze on pharmacies that do not share an owner, as concentration meeting vertical integration. Potential effects, not a universal price hike. Spread pricing, already visible in state files, becomes a political object rather than an accounting curiosity.
Medicaid directors compare what they were billed with what pharmacies received. The gap is not theoretical when it is an audit line. Legislatures write bans for government programs and stall on commercial markets, where contracts are private and consultants sell the next generation of pass-through designs. Managers answer that guaranteed discounts and rebate guarantees are the product employers demand, and that a disclosed administrative fee would have to rise if the undisclosed gap closed. Both statements can be true in the same room. Pharmacy reimbursement is the other blade. A maximum allowable cost list updates. A performance fee, sometimes called a direct and indirect remuneration adjustment in Medicare drug plans, arrives months later and rewrites the economics of a claim the pharmacist thought was finished. The shop that filled a generic in January learns in June that a quality score or reconciliation has recaptured part of the payment. Cash flow death is slow. It does not look like a padlock on day one.
It looks like a second job the owner takes, then a reduced inventory of expensive items, then a closed Saturday, then a sale to a chain that can live on a different margin mix. The Federal Trade Commission staff treat concentration as the condition that makes these conflicts matter at population scale. When only a few platforms adjudicate the great majority of claims, a formulary decision is not a boutique preference, it is a national allocation. Manufacturers bargain harder because losing a platform is losing a country. Pharmacies accept network terms because leaving the network is leaving most insured customers. Patients experience the result as a mysterious rejection, not as a market structure paper. Employers are not innocent bystanders. Some demand aggressive rebate guarantees because the guarantee is a number a finance committee can hold. A guarantee pushes the manager to prefer products that throw off rebates large enough to hit the target. A plan that asked for lower list prices can discover it bought lower net after rebate and higher exposure for anyone paying coinsurance on list. The conflict is not only middleman versus public.
It is purchaser versus member, measured on different clocks. Lawsuits and investigations multiply around insulin and other high-list, high-rebate categories. Allegations describe rebate walls that kept lower-list competitors from preferred status. Allegations are not verdicts. They are the sound a payment chain makes when the list price and the net price have divorced in public. Manufacturers blame managers for demanding larger concessions. Managers blame manufacturers for launching at higher lists. Pharmacies blame both. Plans blame trend. Patients blame whoever answered the phone. And then a single afternoon tightens the whole chain. 2 o'clock. A father presents an insulin prescription at a counter that still has the vial. The switch fires. Coverage is preferred only through a different product, or a 90-day mail fill, or a copay that assumes a list price the family cannot float. The pharmacy's allowed amount sits near or under acquisition. Somewhere offstage, a rebate accrues to a ledger the father will never read. If the affiliated channel captures the refill, the corporation that wrote the roll also sells the box. Nothing in that afternoon requires a conspiracy meeting.
Contracts, published tiers, network manuals, and rebate exhibits are enough. The idealism of cost control survives as a clause. The reality is a set of prices that refuse to be one price. Barriers that were supposed to protect the plan, the formulary, the network, the specialty lock, become the same barriers that allocate profit and inconvenience. And then the afternoon ends without a single price anyone can point to. The fight does not resolve. Congress holds hearings, states pass another disclosure statute, managers announce new pass-through products for clients who ask. Integrated firms remain integrated. Independent shops keep closing in some counties and surviving in others. The staff paper remains interim in spirit, even after the news cycle moves. A documented structure, a set of incentives, a refusal to pretend that structure is harmless, and a refusal to claim that every patient is overcharged. The wound stays open because the payment chain still has more prices than witnesses.
The deeper story is not a middleman with a cape. It is an old economic object wearing a modern badge, an agent hired by one party, paid from several directions, and licensed to write the menu the others must eat. Cost control in this industry is a genuine service. A factory plan cannot staff a team to bargain every national drug code against a manufacturer that sells on every continent. A claim switch that answers in seconds is not a trick. Utilization rules can stop wasteful combinations. Mail order can cut unit cost when the patient will wait. If the agent disappeared tonight, someone would invent it again by morning, because list prices do not bargain with themselves. The principal arrives after that admission. Once the agent can be compensated from the residual, from a rebate share, from a gap between invoices, from a pharmacy it owns, from a performance clawback timed to miss the original explanation of benefits, the agent's success metric splits. Lowering the plan's net can coincide with raising a member's coinsurance, starving an unaffiliated counter, or preferring a high-list product that throws a larger later transfer. None of that requires a secret handshake.
It requires a contract that pays for more than one outcome, and a market so concentrated that walking away is not a hobby. Opacity is not an accident glued to the side, it is load-bearing. If every actor saw every number, the rebate might collapse into an upfront discount, the spread might collapse into a fee, and the affiliated fill might have to win on service rather than on a network rule. Some plans would like that sunlight. Some would lose the rebate guarantee that makes next year's budget look tidy. Manufacturers might then compete on list, or they might not. The point is that darkness lets several stories remain true at once. This is why the same firm can be described, without lying, as a break and as a toll booth. The break is the refusal of the first price. The toll booth is everything collected because the refusal had to be administered. Economics that stops at outrage will miss the break. Economics that stops at the brochure will miss the toll. Imagine the claim as a rail car. It leaves the prescriber's office, hits a switch, takes a preferred sighting, pauses at a tower, rolls through a pharmacy, and arrives at a plan invoice, then months later at a reconciliation yard.
At each junction, a party can take a payment others do not observe in real time. The car still carries the same molecule. The passengers still think they bought one fare. States will keep writing statutes. Agencies will keep issuing staff papers that measure concentration and then qualify every sentence about harm. Employers will keep issuing requests for proposals that ask for contradictory things: transparency and a guaranteed rebate, broad pharmacy access and a steeper discount, member satisfaction and a narrower specialty channel. The market will keep answering with products that satisfy the RFP and leave a remainder. The remainder is the aftertaste. A society that outsources bargaining should expect the bargainer to become a location of power. Power here does not look like a crown. It looks like a rejection code and a copay calculated on a number later rebated to someone else. If the only honest fee is a disclosed payment for the fight against list price, would anyone with enough volume to win that fight still pick up the phone? And if they did, whose prices would they protect first?